everyone, it's McRae. Welcome to another Minecraft tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a fish, or a koi fish, however you want to think of it. If any of you know me, you know I tend to build a little bit on the larger side, so for this video I actually made two different sizes of the same kind of fish, the same basic shape, so you could pick and choose which one you wanted to go with, or do both, but we're going to be starting with the little one. So if you want to build a bigger one, you might have to skip ahead, but let's go ahead and get started with the small one. So this first smaller fish is 10 by 8 by 7 if you need a size reference, and I'm actually showing the blocks that you'll need for this build for once. I think that's the only thing I'm really missing from my tutorials that you all really want is the block count, so I'm going to try to do better about that. Of these blocks, I picked one block to represent the body of the fish, and it needs to have a stair and a slab variant, and the glass is representing what you'll use for the fins. So I preferred glass, but you can use any other block, but that's what it's going to be used for, and then you'll just need one black block to use for the eye. Once you have the blocks that you're wanting to use, let's go ahead and get started with the first layer. Since this build is so small, I don't think you should have any problem at all reading the grid on the left. I do try to mark it as clearly as possible. If you can't tell about the stairs, it's basically wherever the arrow is pointing is the direction the stair will be facing. And once you're done with the first layer, we're just going to be building this from the ground up, so it's going to be pretty easy to do it this way. And on the second layer is when we're going to be adding our black block for the eye, so don't forget to place that there. The nice thing about the way this is angled is we only need one of those. It's a nice little trick I like to do when working with diagonals. The more you do these layers, the easier it gets, so if you get frustrated, just be patient with yourself and with me. It's not that complicated, it just takes a bit of getting used to, I suppose. This particular fish only has 7 layers, which means it's going to be 7 blocks tall, so I'm just going to keep showing them to you and you can keep building them out. If you get confused, you can always pause the video at any time. The last couple layers are really easy, just placing a few extra blocks to finish off the fin. And there you go, you have yourself a cute little fish. Well, little by my standards. Time to get into the larger, more detailed fish. It's going to be the exact same pose as a little one. I know I could have done something different, but I just wanted to do like a different scale of the same fish. So this is what we're going with. And the dimensions of this fish are 23 by 20 by 15. And once again, here's a list of all the blocks that you'll be needing for this fish. Again, I'll be using the glass for the fin. For the body, however, I am using 3 different types of blocks. Now you can either choose a different type, or you could use the same block for all of them. It really just depends on whether you want it to look speckled like mine or if you want it to all be the same color. If you do choose to use multiple blocks, remember which one is labeled as block 1, 2, and 3 for when we begin the tutorial. And then of course you'll need just a few extra black blocks that's going to be used for the eyes and the mouth, I believe, and then a couple white blocks to use for the highlights in the eyes. Once you have all of that prepared and ready to go, we can go ahead and get started. The very first layer on this one, we'll be placing 2 blocks for the fin. So it's not complicated, just remember that we're building this fish upward and towards the top left, so that fin is going to be on the bottom right of the build. Just allow room for the direction it's going to be going. On layer 2, we do introduce the body of the fish too, so that kind of gives you a better idea of where this fish is going to be positioned. Also pay attention to the block numbers. It should coordinate with the materials you collected before, although it's not a terrible thing to just use the same block either. You could do it either way, but I have those split up in the tutorial just in case you wanted to mix and match it right away. If you wanted to fill in the layers as you go, that's an option too. It's really whatever you want to do, and if you make a mistake, as long as it looks okay in the end, that's all that matters. On layer 4 is where we're going to be using our black blocks. I just want to point that out because they might be kind of hard to see in the grid, but there are 3 of them. The 2 on the outside edges are for the eyes, and that middle one in the corner is actually going to be for the mouth. On the next layer, you'll see there's a lot of different color blocks happening near the head of the fish, and you'll see these bright pink blocks, and those are actually going to be the whites of the eyes. So you should have 2 white blocks. This is your chance to use them on layer 5. Alright, now that those layers are out of the way, the rest of them should be pretty straightforward and just following exactly what's on the left. There was just those 2 with the eyes that kind of had exceptions, so I wanted to point those out. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. There are 15 layers total for this, so I'm just going to play through them, and you can pause the video as much as you need to. Layer 7 might be a little bit trickier because we're introducing some blocks way out there on the left, so you might have to do some additional counting to get that placed the correct distance from the body. On this next layer, there are some bottom slabs that look like rings on the layer. If those are too hard to see, let me know. I did try to adjust them this time to help with the contrast. I know sometimes the contrast isn't the greatest. I'm still working through all the color schemes I'm using. It's really hard to get them to all coordinate with every color in every situation, but I'm working on it. Layers 10 and above should be pretty simple because we are just finishing off the tail, so these shouldn't take too long at all. So I might be flying through some of these layers, but at any time you can pause the video. Layer 15 is the last layer, and we just have 6 more blocks to place, and then you're done with your fish. It actually looks pretty realistic for a Minecraft fish, not gonna lie. I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. I don't normally talk about how long it takes me to make one of these videos, but I did spend a lot of time on this video making sure it was as clear as possible and had all the information you needed to help your building process go much more smoothly. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you again sometime in another video. Until then, bye!